What's up guys, Hades here. So I thought it'd be really fun to go through all the groups, find the best matchups, find one kind of heavy hitter matchup and do a video on that one now, and find like one of the close ones and kind of review that one. So I found these two in group 3 and 4. There's the VEX versus PRD game and the Knights of Gondor versus Cross Guild. Now I did click this one and I looked at the score and it is very close. This one I did not click on the score. I want to be surprised and kind of go through what I think happened and maybe why one or the other won. Well, obviously we know who the winner is, but let's jump right into it. Okay, as we've loaded in here, we see VEX is in the top right corner and we see PRD is in the bottom left. First thing to note is always participation, 27 to 26, so it is a very close match. I'm going to speed this up. Now, what I really want to do is find maybe the one or two key moments in this fight why one team or the other team kind of won. Now, I talk about this a lot, and it's sloppy relocations. What I mean by this is just errors or gaps in their formation, because now it takes longer for these teammates to help each other. They could have been one step closer, and that makes a big difference in these close fights. This is an interesting relocation because it is going to land and it is going to put a lot of pressure on these top players. I'm actually going to pause it here and just like show you guys what I see. This is already a winning position for VEX by a country mile. This player got in a prime position. He now has pressure on two players. VEX has really connected like players, and you can see this gap is really causing problems for PRD, or I think it will cause problems. They do have a bit of a numbers advantage, I believe. Yeah, I think they have one extra player, but that's probably not going to matter too much. And then I see a ditch of the top lane and a bunch of people mid, or maybe it's just not loading in. Let's try and figure that out. Yeah, I don't think they sent anyone there. I think everyone's here, and they're just full pressuring middle lane. Of course, with this many extra numbers, this is just gonna be a pretty easy win. It kind of doesn't even matter what they do. They're gonna just take too much damage from rallies too quickly. And if VEX plays even half decent, they should win this. Now, the disadvantage they have is this, again, disconnection, right? There's this big gap here, there's gaps here. There's no one kind of supporting off to the side here, which is very awkward. I do see some people at Sun Moon. Not a fan of Sun Moon in IB League. There's a time and place for it, and it's not at the start. Still pretty close here. This player was forced to bubble. Another mistake here, not moving backwards beforehand. You should never waste your bubble that early. It's interesting though, the trade-off, taking Tower 1 for free and only sending 3 people. They took they invested almost nothing, PRD did. So I'm already a little shocked they lost this. Like, yeah, they're probably going to lose the middle, and then they're probably going to lose 2 and 3. But they really, in theory, shouldn't, because they only sent, 3 to the tower, and now they're only defending with 1. So they should have the players. It's 29 to 30. There's only one disadvantage. This is the first round. I mean, both of these teams are quite unlucky to play each other in the very beginning. I value both of these teams, and I would probably consider like A tier. Like, they're both very good teams. Anyone would be, have a hard time matching up against them. We have a PRD player making a solo play against 2 at the home. I am not a fan of this at all. These players are so close to reinforce, and 2 versus 1 in this game mode is so hard and basically impossible if these two players are playing together in any way, shape, or form. We can see VEX definitely won this tower, as I kind of predicted from the breakdown. When you break down or snapshot something, you can usually see who's going to win it and why. Now we have a fight for the middle, as it is past the 50-minute mark. It's pretty neutral in terms of numbers. Again, VEX is not very connected with each other. And there's a lot of people in the third row. Closeness matters, But I also see this gap here in the center. I hate this gap. This one gap is so bothersome because all three of these players are a full like 3 seconds longer to center, and if they're not instant recalling, it's even a little bit longer, which is very frustrating. But PRD really has some numbers here, and now they're getting, oh, they got canceled, but if that had landed, they would have a lot on the side. Still nothing happening at home, nothing on the sides. I believe the difference here is just, I think VEX just made a better build. There's so many people dead here, which leads me to believe that VEX has a stronger main. I believe the main versus main is just losing. I think that's actually the difference maker. Because you can see here, this is the story. There's just no one dead by VEX, and there's just people non-stop in the respawn chamber. And I can already tell that's the problem with this game. It was quite neutral bottom. VEX sacrificed the middle, but I don't think it's gonna matter because their builds are just better. And when you have better builds, the battles just feel easy over time because you melt them so quickly. They can't do anything in return. And then what are they supposed to do, right? Like, they can't beat you 1v1. They now have to find a rally, and if they start a rally, you beat them with the solo attack, and then they're just gonna collapse very quickly. Of course, I see Snowy here, not usually in VEX, but I don't know what happens on every server's individual side. And yeah, you can see here, that player had 3 HP and 3 people hit him and he died. So the builds were a huge gap in this battle. I don't actually think the macro portion by PRD was bad. I actually think they did very well. Now they went top and they sacrificed it. Essentially, they risked it all because they felt like they were losing. And then the builds is just going to take a huge dip from here. As soon as enough people get cleared in the middle, you can see they're starting to get low, and this is just going to collapse very quickly. They have the numbers. They're going to take this. And as soon as this gets taken, it's 4-1, and the game is just over. And it's going to collapse. I can already see it. There's a little back door back here. I see 2-3 versus 5, but yeah, this is never going to work. He's here. Yeah, they're already got ported. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to go over on this one because you can just tell there's a huge build difference. Again, not a single VEX player is in the base because the build difference was just too massive. I believe a lot of the players in VEX, actually both players should have known the build from last season. There's a very standard Seondeok fire build that everyone is using. Maybe there's a counter to it, maybe there's not, but yeah, this game is gonna definitely be over. I can already see it. There's no counterplay here. There's no counterplay here. That's very quick teleports. Little bit of counterplay here. Nope, and then VEX has their teleports, and they've already won middle. So yeah, this is gonna be a 4-1. I'm just gonna skip ahead to make sure. Yeah, they don't score anything else the rest of the game. They even take their home base, and it's over. But yeah, I can't stress how important analysis is, builds are. Even if you have a top team with very good micro, you have to have a fundamentally strong team with options. I made a I made a video recently on how to come up with those kinds of teams. I don't go into super specific things because I believe everyone should be creative in this game. They let us choose all the skills we want to, and it leaves tons of room for creativity, and I believe that's one of the most fun things about this game. Let's take a quick look at the stats. VEX had some pretty solid performers, but they didn't need to score that much because they were winning so hard. Someone with 1 million, pretty good. This person probably matched up well with the build, but yeah, it's just too deep. You can see when I scroll down to the 10 to 14 range, right here, the points are just too big. It's a huge difference. But yeah, if you guys like these kind of videos, make sure you leave a comment and a like, and I will catch you guys in the next one.